Hello everyone, my name is Ken Appenstall. I'm the Superintendent of Schools here in District 51. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the safety and security of our schools and what we're doing currently to maintain that safety. I need to let you know that our first mission is first and foremost the safety of our children and their welfare, because we believe that students coming to school every day feeling safe and learning in a safe environment is the key to a really good education. We have very dedicated and caring staff who come to work every day with love in their heart for your children, our children, and with a mission to educate all children, and know that they're there to do that work and really support our kids in our schools. We partner with law enforcement, our security personnel, and other local entities, including mental health, to provide the best support we can to ensure safety in our schools. We have done that throughout the last couple of years, including adding more trauma coaches and more counselors to better support kids and wraparound services when we see a need. We also train our staff on best practices. We train our staffs around how to do lockdowns and evacuations to keep our kids safe in case of a crisis. We get a lot of questions about what those training procedures are and what our kids are supposed to do during these events. That really is not a safe thing for us to do, is to release all that information, because that would allow other people that maybe have ill intent to have access to that information. So we are doing our work every day. We are updating those practices very often to make sure that our staff knows what to do in an emergency and keep your children safe. Recent events in Florida have given rise to a heightened sense of fear, and justifiably so, because of that immense tragedy. Throughout this time, we've been getting a lot of phone calls about different issues coming up. One thing I would like to point out is we get phone calls all the time. Right now there seems to be a heightened sense, in which we certainly get, and we want to keep that communication flowing. One way to do that is to encourage your kids and parents and other folks to use Safe to Tell. That system is anonymous, but it also sends messages directly to our law enforcement, our security staff, and our district personnel, which allows us to chase down any leads we may have. In those leads, we often find that a lot of those times kids are just making things up and really kind of wrapping up stories that may not be necessarily true. If we do find any allegations that are true, we move to our fullest extent on what we can do under state law and district policy. And our law enforcement folks also take these things very seriously. As you've probably seen in the news lately, there's been some arrests made and other removals from our learning environment. So know that we take that very seriously. And it's very important that we work together to solve these problems. What are we doing in the future to work on this? Well, right now we're working with our local law enforcement to add more trained professional security and law enforcement officers to our schools to help support our security efforts and to support our educators in our buildings. We're also working with our mental health providers to come up with new ways to provide support for our kiddos when they're struggling in school. So it's really a two-pronged approach, where we're providing more security and we're also working on mental health. Also, as you may have seen during our bond election, is a lot of the work in that bond election is going to support safer schools, security vestibules, keyless entry locks, more cameras. Even in our new design of Orchard Mesa Middle School, we've a much more secure environment. So as we move forward, you'll start to see some of those things take shape to create a little bit harder targets for our schools to make your students safer. I want to thank you for your due diligence and the work that all of you do in helping keep our schools safe. There's a lot of things you can do. You can volunteer if you'd like. We have Watchdog Dads group. We have other organizations forming to have volunteers come to our school, stand guard outside. We have a lot of opportunity for folks to call in and give information to our schools. But probably one of the biggest things is talking to your children and just talking to them about how to report, what to report, and let them know. I mean, again, sometimes we have kids that for whatever reason are making up information and sending that out. And what that does, that really diminishes and depletes our resources. So make sure you talk to them about, get the facts straight, make sure we have all the information, and get that to our Safe to Tell or our law enforcement or our school personnel. And that allows us to really track things down and help really take care of issues we have in our schools. We're going to be working with our entire community to make sure we have safe schools here. Despite all the national rhetoric and state level information, I believe this is a community issue, and a community effort to solve this is what's really going to make a difference. So I appreciate all your help and all your due diligence in supporting us, and know that our staff is here to take care of your kids. We love your kids are our kids. My kid goes to school in this district, and I want to make sure they're all safe and they're coming to school to learn. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please send those in to us through communications, or again, if you have concerns or things coming up around safety issues, use Safe to Tell for that. So thank you, and we look forward to working with all of you.